Hello everyone. Okay, friends. So today we will start with this session. Uh, First of all, I congratulate all of you to join with me on this today's session on utmost good faith. In insurance, whenever we have seen that a person is going to take an insurance, he has to first of all uh, fill up the proposal form, and in that case, all the things which has been written down in the proposal forms are very much essential that they should be fulfilled in a proper way. Now we'll go to our screen. I'm going to share my screen over here. uh, just a minute. Is the screen visible? Is the screen visible? Please let me know.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine. So today we are going to see this matter of utmost good faith in the life insurance contract, and here we'll go with these points. I have jot down 7 points for you. So this is 7 point formula. We will see first of all the things which is connected with this utmost good faith in life insurance. First of all, we will look after towards the first point, that is general contract. So here the insurance contract are the special class of contract which are guided by certain principles like those of utmost good faith, insurable interest, proximate cause, indemnity, subrogation, and contribution. Now, if we see the general contract or commercial contract, they are normally subject to the principle of caveat emptor. Now, in the same sense, if we see that in the case of caveat emptor, it is assumed that each party to the contract can examine the item or service which is the subject matter of the contract, and each party can verify the correctness of the statement of the other party. It means that uh, in a general contract, one has to make it prove that whatever statement he is making, that statement is true. But in case of insurance, whatever statements are going to be get made in a proposal form, they must have to be true from both the sides. It means in case of commercial contracts, the principle of let the buyer be aware is coming, where the buyer must be aware at the time of buying any product. Whereas in case of insurance contract, it is not so. It is the principle of utmost good faith. Now we'll see that what insurance contract is saying. One of the fundamental principle is that insurance buyer must be aware of this principle of utmost good faith. It denotes that in an insurance contract, uh, it is denoted by a Latin phrase called as an aberrima fide. So aberrima fide is the concept which is called as an utmost good faith. So in Latin term, it is aberrima fide. Now, if we go and see the concept of utmost good faith, the concept of utmost good faith is saying that the principles required that both the buyer and the insurance company must deal in good faith. Now here, disclosing to each other all the facts themselves, whether they have been asked or not, which may affect their directions as well. And there are certain things which has to be get asked by the insurance company in the proposal form related to the health of the person, habits of the person, personal history of the person, family history of the person. These all factor forms the basis of the contract, and basis of the not only single contract, but it is a life insurance contract. Here, insurer cannot know anything about you until you disclose it. It means that whatever questions has been asked in the proposal form, the insurer is unable until you answer this question in positive. Now here the underwriter can ask for medical report, yet there may be certain aspect which may not be brought out even by the best medical examination. For example, suppose a person is suffered from diabetes, a person may be suffered from blood pressure, or a person may have undergone any operations that may have not been get disclosed, and for that purpose the underwriter is asking for the medical report. But if any person by taking the medicine hiding the reports, the underwriter is unable to see these things from his view. Even a person that is a medical officer is unable to detect until and unless when the questions are asked by medical officer to the policy holder or to the assured that whether he is suffering from anything, then a person who is suffering from blood pressure or diabetes can go through the appropriate medication and hide this fact from the examining doctor also. So in this proposal form there are number of questions which has been asked related to the history of past sickness, operations, injuries, and they cannot be get suppressed. But if someone suppress it, some of these may affect the life expectancy of the proposer. And many times during the claim is going to be get rejected. That part we will see in the part of the cases. Now simply speaking, while applying for this policy, you must make a full accurate and honest disclosure of the medical history, personal details, lifestyle habits, family history, and other such factors which is based on the insurer who decides upon the policy issuance. Now, while withholding the facts about your lifestyle, habits, or an existing element might result in the slight decrease in premium, but it will later pose a greater hassle during the claim settlement. Now here one has to think that whatever information that is going to be get given in the proposal form, it must be according to the principle of utmost good faith. And if the person is not giving such information uh, according to utmost good faith, then uh, these principles which are levied for insurance contract, that to life insurance contract, are going to be get failed. So till this have you followed? If you have followed, please type followed in the chat box. Make it fast, so more people are coming. Now we will go and see once again uh, the related thing. uh, you can raise hand for your questions and keep your questions with you. In last we will having 10 to 15 minutes for question answer session. Okay, fine. So here uh, now the fourth point is concerned with duties. As I was talking related to uh, insurer's duty. Now here, from other hand, if we see that the principle also empowers the buyer with the right to know that all the facts about the insurer, such as claim settlement record, as well as all the terms and conditions of the policy, he can ask for. Now when a person is taking any policy, he is asking to the insurer regarding the rules and regulations, regarding how the claim is going to be get settled, regarding whether he is getting loan on the policies or not. So in such cases, he is able to ask the question to the insurer. So it is the duty of the insurance company or the insurer or the agent to provide all the information in a proper sense. Now here the onus of the uh, proof rests upon the insurer to make all the terms of the policy, such as hidden cost of the premium, funds in which the money will be get invested, details of the locked in period, whether the loan is available or not, whether the terms of assignment are easy or not, whether the policy is going to be get assigned or not assigned. These all things should be get mentioned by him in that sense. So to know the policyholder through their cell brochure, benefit illustration should be get provided, as well as the policy document after completion of the full policy, when the policy number is going to be get allotted. Now here the buyer is also entitled to redress in case of any breach of disclosure on the insurer's part as well. So there should not be any breach of disclosure. There should be all the things which has to be get disclosed in front of the buyer regarding the product which he is purchasing from the insurer. Now the next thing is that duty to disclose the material fact. So this duty may be the duty of the insurer, or this duty may be the duty of the insured as well. So both of them has to fulfill their duties on their own part. So here we can see that the duty to show good faith falls in the insured as well as the insurer to an equal degree, and each and every party to the contract of insurance must disclose the material fact regarding the terms of the contract. Now here the parties are expected to inform all the relevant facts relating to the contract, that is the life insurance contract. So whenever any proposal is going to be get filled, all the questions has to be get answered in a correct way, and from other side whatever the rules and regulations of the product is there, that should be get disclosed by the insurers. Now the question may be coming into the mind that what is material fact. So what are the material fact depending upon which the insurance contract is going to be get given. So uh, as we have seen in many cases like event insured contract, or there are number of things or number of criteria depending upon which the insurance policy is given to cover the risk of life. So here we will go and see now the material facts. Before that I want to ask whether you have followed. If you have followed, please type followed in the chat box. Here one question has been asked to share the screen for note downing the point. I have already shared the screen, so you can see the screen. And don't worry, I'm going to publish this video. Tomorrow you will be getting the links of full video on YouTube. So what is the material fact? So material fact here is that every circumstances is material which would be relevant for prudent insurer to fix the premium or to decide whether he should take the risk or not. Now here that the proposer does not consider a particular fact or a group of fact only is material is not at all relevant. If it is relevant for the insurer, it must be get disclosed. So disclosure of all the material fact from the side of the insurer and from the side of the insured is very much necessary. Now here whenever we are looking after the material fact, as concerned with the material fact, we'll see the next point under which I have disclosed all the points related to the material fact, when it is the duty of the person to disclose the material fact. And if he is not disclosing the material fact, what would happen, we will see right now. Now here uh, if the assured fails in his duty of making full disclosure of material fact within his actual imputed or presumed knowledge, the contract is voidable at the option of the insurer. Now insurer may repudiate the contract at the prima facie level, or they may call for the reports, or many times the underwriters are calling for the special reports as well from the medical officer. and they will see that whether the health conditions are good or not. So if you are disclosing wrong things, uh, underwriter is asking to provide those things. Now insurer can avoid the life insurance contract for non disclosure of material fact. It involves what you call uh, a repayment of any claim paid which are to be treated as money paid under the mistake, and the return of the premium paid because the insurer never undertook any risk under a void policy. So whenever a person is drawing a policy, he must have to disclose all the material facts related to his life, related to his health, related to his habits, related to his uh, family history. Because whenever we are going to see uh, the points which has been asked, the questions which has been asked in the proposal form related to the occupation, related to the income, related to the health, all these questions are asked. Why for? Because it is a contract of utmost good faith. Now for that purpose, the insurer as well as the insured, both of them has to disclose all the material facts regarding the product and regarding their all habits of life, lifestyle, then all the things which are concerned with the questions which has been asked in the proposal. Now how and when the contract is going to be get repudiated, we will see right now. So here I have jotted down two cases specifically for all of you. Uh, Kapil Sharma versus LIC of India. This is a case which has been held in 2013, and this under this case the claim has been get rejected. Why for? Because the contract is completely based on utmost good faith. Now what had happened in this particular case? Mr. Kapil Sharma has suppressed the material fact regarding his health. The life assured means Kapil Sharma was under the obligation to disclose each and every aspect with respect to his health at the time of submitting the proposal, and in the proposal he has not given the correct information which has to be get given. Now here insured had not disclosed the fact to be alcoholic from last 15 to 20 years. This is the most important thing, that a person who is alcoholic from last 15 to 20 years, regarding that the questions has been asked in the proposal form. Now further, he was suffered from cirrhosis for last 1 year, which he has said that he doesn't suffer from any disease. And thirdly, he had not disclosed the fact that he was remaining on leave on medical ground for about 3.5 months, and after that his death has occurred. And when her uh, wife filed the death claim, that has been get rejected. The matter went to the court of law, and the court said that the insurance company is correct, saying that the contract of life insurance is based on the contract of principle of uh, utmost good faith, and a suppression of material fact regarding health leads to rejection of or repudiation of the death claim. So this is one case. Now there is another case, LIC of India versus N Shankar Reddy. This is also one case where we can find out uh, the things which are connected with the accidental claim. So in this case, to Mr. N Shankar Reddy, the claims, that is the natural claims, has been provided for, but there is a non-payment of accidental benefit. Now, the respondent has, however, uh, not mentioned in the complaint as to when the accident has took place and the circumstances under which the accident has been happened. What are the different kinds of injuries which he has sustained? He has also not mentioned in the complaint when the accident has been took place. So he has also not mentioned about the injuries in the complaint. There was no police record or hospital records that has been submitted confirming the accidental death. Now here, due to these things, it was ordered by the court of law that to prove death by accident, either policy report or hospital records confirming death as an accidental death are to be produced. Without document, how can the insurance company is able to know that the accident has been happened? And if the accident has happened, for that purpose you have to provide the documents related to the accident. It may be the police report, that is FIR or Panchanama report, or when the death has happened, in such cases it requires a post-mortem report from the doctor, and the doctor who has last checked him whether the person has been died due to the accident, and he has sustained what kinds of injuries that has been mentioned in the report. And if the report of the doctor is going to be get given to the insurance company, in such cases the claim of accident may be get settled. But in case of this N Shankar Reddy, court has said that the it has to be proved that death by accident, uh, it requires either police report or hospital records confirming death as an accidental death that are to be get produced in front of the court of law. So here, no accidental benefit, death benefit has been given, only the natural death benefit has been allowed by the court of law. So if you have followed, please type followed in the chat box. And now it is the time to ask the question. So you can ask the question, and here I have stopped sharing right now. So there was one hand raised. I'm giving a chance to all of you to ask any question related to this present topic. It may be in Marathi or Hindi or English. So you can ask the question. Uh, Anyone who wants to ask the question? Mrunali,
Yes, sir.
you can ask the question related to this matter.
No, sir.
There is no question.
No, sir.
Ms. Gitanjali, Mr. Sachin,
No question, sir.
wow, great. Now, many times what is going to get happen, there are number of people who are thinking about what to ask. So don't have any fear regarding asking any question. So here Sharda is also there. She is an insurance agent. Gitanjali is also there. She is an development officer in Life Insurance Corporation. And many people who are from the insurance field are there. Some of the people from LLB and LLM are also present over here. So no matter, you can ask any question. Nandakumar, you can ask your question as well.
No, sir, no question.
No question.
Maybe one question, sir, from my side.
Yes.
Actually, at the time of getting the insurance policy, if somebody is very healthy and doesn't have any symptoms, and
Mhm.
then over the period of time, he gets due to some what can I say, genetical issues or hereditary problems, he develops some issues related to diabetes or something like that.
Yeah.
But he never checked that kind of thing, and because of that reason something happens to him.
Yes.
But he is not aware about that thing. But eventually when his death occurs or something happens to him,
Okay.
then it will come in the report that he died due to such and such reason. But the person himself doesn't aware about that. Then
Mhm.
will it be considered that he has not followed this? What can I say? He is not true to the company.
Mhm.
So how this kind of case will be handled?
Now, if it is a death and when the person is not been able to know regarding the disease, and the most important thing is that if he has crossed 3 years, then no question will be asked as per the Insurance Act 1938 under Section 45, that no question should be get asked after completion of the 3 years. But when it is in case of early death claims, there are two kinds of death claims. One is early death claim and second is non-early death claim. So in the case of non-early death claim, the claim will be given depending upon uh, the non-early claim procedure, whereas in case of early death claims only, these kinds of cases like what two cases we have seen, that such kind of cases are coming in front, and there the claim may be get repudiated. So within 3 years of the policy, uh, the insurance company can reject or repudiate the claim if the death occurs due to certain kind of criteria. If there is a previous history of any disease, but the insured also not knowing it, and if he declares so, and if the insurance company is satisfied, they may get settle the claim, and if they are not satisfied, they may reject the claim. Followed, Makran?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Great. Any
Hello,
question
sir.
from any other one? Rajesh ji, yes, ask
Hello.
your question.
सर समजा लहान मुलांची पॉलिसी घ्यायची आपल्याला
Okay.
आणि त्यासाठी वडिलांना समजा एखादा आजार असेल,
हा हा
त्या वडिलांचं मेडिकल का?
हा त्याच्यासाठी PWB बेनिफिट नावाचा एक बेनिफिट असतो. त्याच्यामध्ये आपण जो आहे वडिलांचं पण बेनिफिट जो आहे PWB बेनिफिट घेऊन वडिलांचं इन्शुरन्स आणि मुलाचं इन्शुरन्स दोन्ही पॅरलली घेतो, आणि वडिलांचं तर डिसीज सहित एक्स्ट्रा प्रीमियम चार्ज करून रिस्क कव्हर केल्या जाऊ शकते. नो प्रॉब्लेम.
अच्छा, ओके ओके, थँक्यू सर.
येस. Sachin, any question? So anyone wants to ask any question? I think many of the people has been get cleared from the concept and criteria. So here I thank you very much for joining with me today, and we will stop here today for this session. In our next session we are coming with the new topic, and you will be get upgraded on your mail regarding the future webinars. So I once again thank all of you, and we will end the session over here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Have a
Sir,
great day.
thank you,
nice
sir.
day.
थँक्यू सर.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.